less than 24 hours ago. Good speed control. We parallel parked. We made right turns, left turns. Was it perfect? No. My students were both going off the side of the road. It's really easy for a lot of you to say, well, they were nervous. All of you will be nervous on your first drive, your second drive, your third drive, and particularly when it gets dark. But the two students who drove, they have skills that a lot of you don't have. They have a night drive under their belt. And that's really important. I can't drive all of you at night, but with my schedule, I think it's going to be balanced. So I want to talk about some of these things, and I'll tie it to the nighttime drive. I always try to prepare you for the road test by doing road test prep, whether you're 20, 14, 35, 45, 50. So rolling stops. We don't do rolling stops. You got to stop completely for 3 seconds, count in your mind 1001, 1002, 1003. If you practice good stops, it won't ever become a problem. If your mom does rolling stops, your dad does rolling stops, your brother does rolling stops, you're going to think it's normal, and then you're just going to blow a stop sign to get a really terrible ticket to ruin your driving record. You got to check your blind spots. Going back to the beginning drivers, they were a little nervous. They were slow checking blind spots, and that's when we could get sideswiped. So you got to get used to just looking over your shoulder and checking. Once you start getting used to these things, you're going to start doing them the rest of your life. This is why I like that we're starting to get driving, and we already have 4 drives scheduled. Poor parallel parking. We did not hit the curb. We were a little too far away, but we did not hit the curb. On that second and third parallel park, they got it. That's a skill you have to learn. Everything I said that we're going to do on the first drive, we did. We drove in the parking lot. We went up and down the aisles, up and down the aisles, up and down the aisles. Then we went into the neighborhood. We drove around 3 times. We did parallel parking, and then boom, I had them on the road. Speed control was pretty good. Sometimes I have beginning drivers who go a little bit fast. Both of them were a little bit fast. Sometimes they go a little bit slow. We stayed on really smooth, chill roads. We were by Dave's Hot Chicken. Yeah. So we were eating, we were thinking about that chicken. So Anna, we were thinking about the chicken. Let me see where Anna is. Is she in here? Anna, you in here? She's not in here. She must be at Dave's. But anyway, we were driving on really smooth, chill roads. And that's the way I want you to approach driving, is be smooth and chilled. Occasionally they forgot their turn signals. That is really confusing for beginning drivers, and someone who has their permit, who's been driving 6 months, 8 months, use your blinker. If you're not going to use your turn signal, you're trash, because you're going to cause an accident. You're going to have someone rear end you, and then they're going to have a dash cam and say, well, officer, they didn't use their blinker and I reared them. Yes, ma'am, you're right. Here's your ticket. And then you look silly in court. So use your blinkers. My drivers did not hesitate too long at green lights. They looked and then they went. So I thought that was pretty good. How do you avoid automatic fails? Be smooth. They scanned the intersection, but it wasn't a lot of looking because they were so focused on driving straight. They were a little bit over the speed limit, and we just got to teach how to lift your foot and how to have good control. That will help make you a safe driver. If you learn how to drive fast, you're going to die. You're going to hit a car. You're going to run a light. You will make a huge mistake, and we don't want speed to be our enemy. Speed never lies. Next, they were starting to scan the intersection. Remember, these are automatic fails I'm going over. If you don't scan the intersection, you won't see who's walking. You won't see cars. And I have to teach you these things so you don't crash. Both forgot the light was red. Both forgot the light was yellow. Both forgot the light was green. So it's really important that we support each other. I show care. I learned a lot about my students, and that's why I like teaching driving. I talk to their parents. I want you to listen to my instructions, and then I'm gonna let you stay chilled and eat. I didn't overtalk. I didn't undertalk. I thought it was chilled. Of course, it's at night. You're gonna be tired. You're in school. I'm in school. So we wanna make sure we support each other, but you should be excited to drive. Before the test, the headlights work on the car. The windshield was about 80%. The tires and brakes were good. You don't need to worry about a learner's permit. I'm your permit right now. You're learning. So when you're with your state certified driving instructor, you're in a registered driver's education program. If an accident happened, the car's insured, you're insured, I'm insured. So just learn. Don't worry. We have proof of insurance and registration in the car. We always have to have that and keep that up to date. I thought the steering wheel was pretty good. We turned hand over hand in, hand over hand out of the turn. We learned how to turn in neighborhoods. We want to stay on the right side of the road. Some beginners turn too early. They end up on the left side. You're probably saying, how do people do that? Because you're confused and you're not used to driving a car. It does happen sometimes. Adjusting the seat and mirror was pretty good. Seatbelts are always on. And just really making sure they're comfortable. I'm trying to get you to grow up quickly. Some of you will, some of you won't. Everyone is a little bit different. We did do complete stops behind the stop line. We signaled early, 100 feet or half a block. I had to make some lane changes. I don't want to do straight driving because you'll lose focus. We had pretty good speed limit, but we were a little bit fast. I was smiling a little bit. It wasn't raining or snowing, so we were pretty good there. We weren't worried about school or work zones because it was after 8:30, so that was chilled. Parallel parking was pretty nice. We lined up, we reversed back, we turned the wheel all the way to the right. Next, we didn't go on the freeway. We weren't there yet. We did good stops. The music was like chilled in the background. They wasn't jerking in the steering wheel. If anything, they were really stiff. A lot of you tonight are going to drive really stiff. You're going to be tense. You're going to be nervous. Relax. Practice. I just put in some Google Scholar to support what I'm saying. 4-way stops. Passing is yielding to the first car that gets there. We went to a 4-way stop and a car was confused. And so was my student driver. We were there last. The car in front of us, but to the left, their right, they should have turned, but they waited for us. And that confused my student driver. So we waited. Failing is cutting off another car at a 4-way stop. That's the number one cause of failure. Yellow light misjudgment. All of you will have that. Secretly, some of you are trying to kill the instructor. Don't run yellow lights. Don't slam brakes. If you can stop safely in 3 seconds. But because both of them were a little fast, we didn't really have to stop at yellow lights because they had pretty good speed control. They were just a little bit fast. No cap, no hate. Failing is accelerating through a late yellow light. This is linked to 22% of fails. So we don't want to speed up to make a yellow light. That's failure. And if you keep doing that, you won't be driving. I'll clock your T. Don't run yellow lights. That puts me in danger, you in danger, and that's death. Most of you won't do that. You learn quickly, but some of you will. Next, right-of-way violations of protected left turns. We didn't really make that many left turns, but you have to, we made one in the beginning, getting onto the main road. Waiting, checking traffic. You want to be patient. You want to check your traffic. Turning left in front of approaching cars. We never do that. That's automatic termination. We wait till the car goes by. This is why we don't get hit. I pray. Pedestrian priority. I'm always a firm believer in giving pedestrians priority. People walking, because there are more people walking in the street, on the street, by the street. So we got to really be extra careful. I do notice a trend in that. We want to creep forward. It says failing is creeping forward while pedestrian cross. We never do that. Lane discipline. Most of you do have lane discipline. Passing is maintaining 25 miles per hour in neighborhoods. We only went in the neighborhood for about 10 minutes, 12 minutes, teaching you how to look left, look right. We'll do that tonight. Staying in the right lane unless otherwise passing. Parking mistakes. We did some stall parking at the high school. We didn't really go in a downtown area. I wanted to keep you guys on the main road, but we could go to a downtown area to work that tight parallel parking, to work stall parking. It just depends on how I feel, how you feel. I try to keep you on the main roads, plenty of light, let you get comfortable, get a nice chill vibe. That's how I am. Dangerous actions. Hands at 9 and 3, eyes forward. Failing is adjusting mirrors while moving leads to 14% of termination fails. You want to always have your mirrors adjusted. Railroad crossings, you got to look left and right. You want to pause. You want to look. You got to look. Data-driven. Teens fail most at rolling stops and speeding. We were a little bit fast. I'm not capping you on my two, but they were just a little bit fast. I think they were nervous. We don't do rolling stops because I'll hit that brake on you, and I want to teach you habits. Adults fail more for hesitation. And then poor parking skills are 37%. I'm going to teach you how to park so you're not scared to parallel park. I'm going to teach you how to park so you can angle park. I want to get you ready to go, and that's pride. Evidence-based teaching, practice with dash cams. Teens who review footage pass 19% more often. So I suggest you invest in a dash cam. And then when you're learning to drive with your parents, hey, mom, dad, I want to put my dash cam on. Why? That's weird. No, my instructor told me. When I drive, I want to see what I'm doing wrong. Okay, honey, great. And then if you really want to get better, you drive. When you have time, download it, look at it. Wow, I did okay, but that car cut me off. So look at your own data. 3-second mirror check reduces lane changing fails by 62%. So you just got to check. Test day sleep, get hours, get rest. Automatic fails, e-scooters, bike lane intrusions. That's really scary. A lot of people are on those e-scooters and e-bikes, and they're going 20, they're going 30. They're not paying attention. So that's one dangerous thing I noticed. EV mode confusion. We don't have an EV as of yet. Maybe towards the end of my career, we might be driving an EV, but we will turn all those automatic functions off. Hands-free, law violation, we're not even messing with that. We don't do that. Vehicle tech pitfalls, over-reliance on backup cameras. I had my segment 2 yesterday. My students wanted to argue, should I learn how to park with the backup camera? I said, no, cut it off. Learn how to park without your backup camera. Learn how to back up without your backup camera. In your generation, guys, your mom and dad's going to have backup cameras. Turn it off. Learn how to look over your shoulder back in your parents' driveway. Passing, using mirrors and shoulder checks. We're going to be doing this tonight. Failing is only using camera and hitting cones. We don't use adaptive cruise control because I don't put you in that situation, and our car doesn't have it. If it was raining, we would increase our following distance. Snow lane discipline, we do drive in the wintertime. It's, late summer, but we do drive in the snow. If it was snowing tonight, I would let that car warm up, make sure our windshield wipers are good, and then we get out there and eat. And I would want the Impala because it's a bigger, heavier car, and you will appreciate me later. School zone updates, flashing light ignorance. You know what a flashing light means? Stop for school zones. Beacons, failing is driving 35 plus during active hours. You will fail. And sometimes during the school year, I will drive to the school, I'll pick you up, and you'll be embarrassed with your friends. Who cares? Your friends don't drive, you do. Passing is stopping for school buses with the yellow headlights. Failing is passing a bus with the flashing ambers. So you got to realize kids are getting out, parents are waiting. Foundational skills, you got to familiarize yourself with the car. What I need to do is download the automotive manual for the car and put together some questions. I think it would help you. Drill, eyes up exercise. A lot of you stare at the speedometer. Look ahead, aim high. Figure eight, we did figure eights. Hey, we were going up and down the aisle. Turning right, turning left, turning right, turning left. That skill was pretty good. Both did pretty good. Driving, Mason did pretty good. Leah. Say your name again. I always mess it up. Leah.
Leah.
Leah. But you know what? That's how she talks. She's really not mad at me, only a little bit. But she did pretty good. She's very intelligent. Did you have fun yesterday? Yes or no? 2 days ago.
Yes.
Yeah, she did. She did. She parked. She turned. I had her driving. And just making you feel comfortable. And I think that's the most important thing. No big crazy mistakes, nice chill driving, and then getting you ready, right? They were the first two to drive. Right away scenarios, we kind of struggled a little bit at four-way stops. It's normal because people don't follow the rules. And me as an instructor, I'm like your watchdog. I'm looking ahead. Who's first? Who's second? I'm saying this in my mind. Okay, it's my student driver's turn, but I don't say anything to you. I want you to stop. I want you to look left and right. And I will say, we are the last car. We are the second car. And then once you get up there, you better go. Let's see here. Stop sign protocol. We always stop. We did the parallel park, mirror check, 45 angle, not in the freeway yet. Your parents need to be involved. I always talk to your parents. Hey, how you doing? What's going on? What's going on, Duck? So I always talk to your parents. Are you the last one? Are you the first one? And dash cams are good. I never grab the wheel because that's going to take away your confidence unless you're going to crash. We're not trying to crash. I don't yell because that's going to make you nervous, take away your confidence. I don't rush the progression. We went into neighborhoods. I saw them being comfortable. You have to take your time. You have to take your time. We could be using some VR simulation. I think that will be great. Anxiety, some people do have anxiety. You want to wear comfortable clothes, wear thin sole shoes. We won't have rain tonight, no snow, no fog. We just want to check mirrors, get speed control. I try to take my time. Animals can always come out. We don't have augmented reality. These are some wish list things we should have. But I just want you guys to feel comfortable in the car. I need all of you to type in 3 things you learned in the chat of what I just went over, because I drive 2 more of you tonight. Tell me, type in 2 things you learned from what I went over tonight. Type in those 2 things. We're going to share some questions in a moment. Don't go anywhere. It's really nice to have all of you here. And we're just keeping the live going, right? Hopefully, it's been a while. Just Pass got all my account stuff back. Hey, what's up, Duck? We're going to go over some questions. And this will prepare you when you get out on the road. I always want you guys to be safe. And I really do care. And if you know that I care, you're going to do a good job. And isn't that the most important thing? To know that someone cares and then they want you to do a good job. And all those things are significantly important to you. And I think that's what you want. You want good instruction. You want good education. And we want to keep going. Worksheet 2 or 3, where are we at?
We're on sheet 2.
I like what you just said. We're going to share, and I'm going to go from 40 and read these questions. I'm going to read about 20 of them, and then we're going to get it rocking and get it going. All right. And these are your final. I know it's a little bit boring. I know it sucks, but don't care. We have to prepare. And then we'll go over the quizzing in the end. Don't stress. It's there. I'm going to keep going. We're going to get through this. Give me a second. I'm gonna start from 40. Okay, you can pass the vehicle on the right if the vehicle head is signaling left and you do not have to leave the pavement. This is true. So you just got to understand pavement markings, and a lot of beginning drivers don't understand pavement markings, and they're going to make those mistakes of stopping behind the vehicle. People are going to get irritated, side eye you, look at you funny, and a lot of times you do things as a mistake, and then people are not very loving to you, and they're not very caring to you. Right, 41, right-of-way laws are written in terms of who must yield. So if you're the first car there, you're the first car to go. That's really important. 42, when you are parallel parked, you should be within how many inches to the curb is 12 inches. I do open the door, I do check, because you're representing me, and I'm representing you. Next, you are driving on a 2-lane highway. The final decision whether to abort a pass or proceed to pass should be made prior to, the correct answer is B, reaching the vehicle you are passing. So in your mind, you need to know, am I going to pass this vehicle or am I not? You have to make those decisions early. 44 next, if you do not have the room to squeeze by an oncoming vehicle on a narrow street, you should. The correct answer is A, pull over and wait. You just have to be patient. And you really do have to pay attention. I think a lot of beginning drivers, you're in la la land. You're like, woo, but then there's a truck coming or there's a big car coming. And the expectation is you pull over. If you want to turn at this intersection, it is a picture from which 2 lanes can you turn. It is lanes 2 and 3. But if you can't read or you're nervous, you're going to turn in the wrong lane, and this is when a crash happens. All of these intersections are uncontrolled with all the vehicles moving. Which intersection shows the greatest possible danger? Danger is getting hit. We don't want to get hit. And the correct one here is C. You're really close, so you want to yield. If you're not sure, let the car go by. Make eye contact. Next, when turning, your last check in the direction should be of the way you turn. If you approach an intersection where the traffic light is not working, you want to treat it as a 4-way stop. You stop, you look left, you look right. A big truck goes through because they're a big truck and they think they can bully. But you have to look and take your turn. Everyone is nervous. Everyone wants to get home. But some people just, okay, I'm going to go by. Please don't hit me, cars. So you really got to look. And you don't want to cause someone to road rage on you. And that's what people will do. When looking for blind spots, which of these statements is incorrect? It is C, just rely on the images in your mirrors. Look over your shoulder, check your blind spot. Next, minimizing a hazard is a technique for reducing risk from a hazard by putting more or less distance. The correct one is more distance. You want to have distance, have good speed, have good space. And my 2 drivers on Tuesday did a good job of just keeping space, of just taking time, of just keeping it chilled. And that's what I really want you to do. Amen to that. Let's keep it moving. Okay, when 2 vehicles at an uncontrolled intersection from different streets arrive at the same time, the driver on the left must yield to the driver on the right. So the driver on the left yields to the driver on the right. But a lot of you will forget that. And then people look at you like, what are you doing? And you're like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm a student driver. So you don't want to upset people. But people are very fragile and nervous. So not you, other people. So you really want to be aware. When turning right from a one-way street, you position your vehicle in the right lane. You always want to turn in the nearest lane. Most of my students on Tuesday turned pretty good. They were a little stiff. Mason tends to turn short. No cap. He's going to go over the curb. Okay, so we want to make sure you're turning in the nearest lane. Don't overturn the wheel. Don't underturn the wheel. Just enough. But you're going to be nervous and stiff tonight. So if I can get you comfortable, You're going to make really good turns. And lesson 1 leads to lesson 2. Lesson 2 leads to lesson 3. Let's keep eating. Everything is good. The first thing you should do considering when making a U-turn is whether or not it is legal. You got to look around, but you're going to be nervous. You're not going to read signs, and then you get a ticket because ignorance is no excuse. Always look around. If you must turn your vehicle around on a narrow roadway and most of the traffic is coming toward you, the best type of turnaround would be a 3-point turnaround using a driveway on they want to see if you understand what side you need to be on. The correct side is the right, R-I-G-H-T. But if you don't know directions, and most of you tonight will do, this is the left, this is right, I can see you thinking. But meanwhile, the turn is coming, and you still don't know your left and right, and you're going 30 into the turn. This is when we crash. Reduce your speed and take your time. Look around. So when there are no visible approaching nearby U-turns in the residential area are legal. You just got to look. Collisions occur at curves because the speed in the approach is too fast. You will lose control. To plan for a turn, you should be in the correct lane about a block. Before this is true, let's keep going. I'm gonna do 10 more and then it's on you. In the right turn, okay. In a right turn, the rear of the tires will track closer to the curb in relation to the front wheels. So they're asking you to visualize what does the car do? And this is true. When making a left turn from a one-way street to a two-way street, now they're trying to trick you. You have a one-way street, now you're going to a two-way street. You should turn from the far, and the correct answer for this is left lane. And a lot of you will get confused going from one way to a two-way. So I don't normally take you on those type of roads. Okay. During driving on an urban roadway can be especially dangerous and hazards too. This is deer. I'm going to 70, then I'm free. And then you're going to tell me what you learned. To make a right turn onto a two-way street, you should start to turn in the furthest blank lane and then end up in the closest lane to the blank. You want to start in the right and end up to the right curve. But a lot of you will get confused and you go on the wrong side of the street. So it seems really easy. Well, how do students do that? How do people do that? Because you're not used to driving. You don't understand that we're in America and you drive to the right. You don't make short turns because you're going to be on the left side of the street. I've had a lot of students do that. And then if you're embarrassed, you don't take coaching and then you start crying. So a lot of beginning drivers are very sensitive. And I just had to put on my kid gloves, but that was 10 years ago. You're just going to get in the car and drive, and I'm going to support you. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be chilled. When driving on a one-way street past vehicles parked on the left, you should position your vehicle to the right portion of your lane. Next, you should enter a roundabout when there's adequate gap in traffic. We did not go on any roundabouts, but I think tonight we'll go on roundabouts. When approaching a crosswalk, you see a pedestrian with a cross, waiting to cross. The correct answer here is stop at the crosswalk, wait for the pedestrian. I need all of you to type in what you learned. We're finishing this before we go over the quizzy. Type in what you learned, please and thank you. I thought it was a really good session. We learned a lot of good information. We actually went through some of the road test prep. You want to make sure your teacher does not have to intervene. You want to make sure that you are in the proper lane early. I saw a lot of your comments. A lot of you put comments down about turning in the correct lane. A lot of you put comments down about, do people really drive this way in America? They drive this way anywhere, okay? I think a lot of you try to cap on some of the videos that I put up. I am in America. There are people in the UK that put up videos too. There are people in India that put up videos too. At the end of the day, America's not a laughing stock. Facts. India's not a laughing stock. Facts. The UK is not a laughing stock. Facts. We all work together. And if you work together, you're going to really be successful. And good instructors are all over the world. And I'm just showing you a glimpse into a portion of how Americans drive. And I'm showing you how they drive in the Midwest. I drive adults, I drive teens. And I'm not saying I'm the best, I'm not saying I'm the worst, but you have to be willing to listen to your instructor. You have to be willing to ask questions. Do you really want to drive? Do you really want to put the time in? Because I've had 2 students who have anxiety who just said, I'm done. And I'm not going to force you to drive. If you're not ready to drive, you're going to put me in danger. You're going to put the car in danger, and you're going to put yourself in danger. You got to be able to stop and judge distance. If you can't judge distance, you're going to crash. I want you to look at all my videos. I want you to leave comments, and I will talk to you later. Bye.